As you can hear by my voice, I've got none, so I'll do my best. Some kind of bug I caught. Anyways, life is passing by here in Mondello. There are lots of goods to be delivered to the smaller islands. People and businesses depend on these small ships. Across from us, I see sailing vessel Blue Pearl filling up with water and diesel. It's my new friends René and Jolie, the young Dutch family. They're crossing the Atlantic to go to Suriname. I was happy to hear they had made it safely there. As friends leave, it makes room for new friends who arrive. And it's the crew from Manaliba, who I know from the Canaries. Pilou and Swiss compatriot Aurélie.
I can't believe these guys are here.
And this guy.
With Anthony.
Woohoo! On est arrivé, Capo Verde.
These guys are the Manaliba crew. Fellow Swiss girl. And they're gonna leave soon. Yeah. Should stay and enjoy, man.
One of their neighbors brought a Maui Maui tuna. The crew was full, so I took it graciously and gave half of it to my friend Pish. A couple other friends showed up. Bruno in his little 30-foot boat, and Jean in his yellow Joshua, famous for bringing up Swiss fondue wherever he sails. Manaliba crew only spent a week here, just enough time to fix things and a quick visit. I turned them on to Stumperut, and no sooner that they had arrived, they sailed on. They would be running a charter operation in the Caribbean and had clients coming.
Fresh. Finally ready to cross. Finally we will leave. Soon they finish to install the AOIS.
At times, people recognize me from Winded Voyage series, and we instantly become friends. Like Paul here from New Zealand and Aussie Daryl. I was able to show them a local good time, and they were off too. Paul would be sailing his Dutch to purchase boats back to New Zealand. And then there are my Cape Verde friends. Paige and his crew organized a camping weekend at the beach and invited us. They don't skimp on anything. Everything, including the kitchen sink, comes along. As well, we had to stop for ice. They call this type of outing a país, and it's very common amongst Cape Verdeans. It means getting all together and going off someplace to eat, drink, and go fishing and camping. They had chosen a desolate valley that is sometimes used for military exercises. It opens up to a deserted beach called Flamengo. We had the place to ourselves. The crew gathers together to dole out responsibilities. Some of us set up tents, tables, and chairs. Others gathered wood to get the fire going and begin the long cooking process of cachupa. Responsible for cooking is pro chef Johnny, who lives in France with his wife Camille, who's an architect.
Je cuisine du thon avec des pâtes. C'est comme ça que ça marche ici. C'est ça.
La tête de thon. Ah ouais.
Voilà.
Ah ouais, la tête de thon.
Ici on mange tout. On mange la tête, des chairs, la tête. C'est comme ça la vie.
Ouais. On gaspille rien.
On gaspille rien, c'est sûr.
This is to eat soon, and these are the beans for the cachupa later on. As the fires are stoked, so are we stoked. A lot thanks to the generous amounts of stupidat.
Te fora de sério. Obrigado, Alex. Nota ali. Boa. Vai, compadre. Minha compadre. Esta canção cabeça.
Paige took some time to spend with his son Nelson. He'd gotten almost perfect grades at school, but needs to work on some simple basic things like the difference between left and right, which I can relate. I'm at times dyslexic and confuse port and starboard. For one person, it was a special day. It was Camille's birthday. She lived in Cape Verde 2 years, fell in love with Johnny, and they now live in Marseille, France.
C'est l'anniversaire de ma femme. Alors, il faut faire attention. Parce que les gâteaux, c'est pas pour tout le monde.
They plan to get a place here on the islands eventually. After all, she is now a Cape Verdean too. The party went on into the night, and to say the least, it was hard to get some rest. I shared a tent with Paige and his son Nelson, and Natasha shared her tent with Paige's daughter, Wellen. She did not get much sleep, which she desperately needs, and caught up in the morning. With little sleep, she's not in the best of moods, and you could tell that day. For breakfast, we had cachupa with an egg. Fisherman friends had promised to come by and take some of the guys fishing. I just love the way they just storm the beach so easily. Everyone helps. And soon they're off again, in the same confident way, busting across the waves to go fish for our lunch. A few hours later, the guys show up with dozens of fish. They take the loot to the rocks and prepare them all. Then they roast the fish on coals and open fires. The result is some of the best fish I've ever eaten. I eat about 6 of them alone. They keep a few to fry to add to the cachupa, and as well grill a few chicken drumsticks. After a copious fresh-caught lunch, the fishermen head back home and we head for the sea. The sun had finally made its appearance from behind a veil of cloudy mist. The tide is low now, so the waves are pure pleasure for us all. some reason, the guys had some sympathy for one of the sea creatures they caught. It was a beautiful experience to spend a weekend in the wild with Paige and his crew. All the more friendly than the other. Certainly less feisty than Mr. Crab here. And after the beach, we would discover the high mountains of the adjacent island, Santa Tau, which looks more like the Alps than Africa. Stay tuned.